Good morning, East Tennessee. My name is David Aldridge, Chief Meteorologist of Captain Accurate Weather, coming to you by way of the Captain Accurate Command Center. I knew I'd messed that up last day, and I'm messing up all my scripts in my head. Anyway, good morning to you and happy Valentine's Day. Have to say a very happy Valentine's Day to my beautiful wife, Stephanie. I have to get that out there because I do know this is a team effort. It is a team effort. By the way, temperatures this morning are very cold on this Valentine's Day. We're at 26 degrees. Oh, wait a minute. I thought winter was over. I thought we had some 70s in February. We did like more than a week ago, but now all of a sudden it's like 18 in Jamestown. It's 19 in Oneida and 19 in Jonesville. Some very cold air is now presenting itself here. And now all of a sudden, could we get colder? I mean, in probably less than, I don't know, 6-7 days, we could be down to like 10 or 12. 10 or 12 in Knoxville. Would that catch your attention? It's possible. I mean, there's certainly more winter coming. And perhaps by next Thursday, that's like next week, like the 20th, we could have some snow that's sizable. So enough, maybe you say winter did come back. Well, what do you know? And that's one of the things I want to at least plant the seed that is a possibility. But currently, I'd love to know what temperature you have this morning. It's 25 in Morristown in Hamlin County. Good morning to you. Rockwood, good morning to you. It's 21 in Crossville. Is it 20 degrees in the Plateau? Very cold indeed. Again, normal low this time of year. Normal low this time of year is actually, was at 33. So we're running well below average. La Follette, Jacksboro at 23, and it's 20 degrees in Wartburg this morning. You throw in a little bit of wind, 11, yeah, that's enough to make it feel much, much colder. An 11-mile-an-hour wind makes it feel like it's 16 right now. Forget about the fact of what it is. It's what it feels like if you have to fill up your tank at the gas pump. So just know it's very, very cold this morning. If you've got an observation, I'd love to say good morning to you. Oh, I see a note from Darcy. She says it's so bittersweet. Glad to have Darcy here. Hallie Gibson is also on the call. She says, my weatherman's breaking my heart on Valentine's Day, praying for all the success to come your way. I'm going to make some statements here, Hallie, coming up a little bit later, but I am very thankful that you're here live watching. Fred says, good morning. He's got an update. A sad day for us, he says, Captain, but he's got 27 in Blount County and Maryville. And Wanda Poe says, good morning, David. She writes, morning, David, I like your tie. Go Big Orange. Gonna miss you. And as I well, we'll miss you. And Karen, want to say a special thanks to your nice and kind words. You wrote a very nice post yesterday that I got out on both, not only the weather group, but also the main page. And she writes this morning, good morning, David. It's 19. She's got a relative humidity of 93% here in Fairfield Glade. Our back deck is glistening with frost. So pretty. Wishing you a fantabulous day. You will be missed. Well, thank you very much for that. I'll get back to more of the comments here in a second. But as I come back on camera, I just want to say this is not going to be a goodbye. This is just going to be see you in a new place. Because some of you like to go to Destin, Florida. I know this because I've lived here now 15 years. Where do you go to the beach? I go to Destin, or I go to Hilton Head, or I go to Myrtle Beach. Maybe I could convince you that maybe we'll go to Virginia Beach or the Outer Banks, because a lot of people don't remember or think of this, but Northeast North Carolina is also part of my viewing area in my new job. So again, if you haven't heard the news, I'm heading to Norfolk, WTKR News 3. The first warning weather app is certainly you could download. Would love to have you join us there. But we will be covering not only Virginia Beach, but Hampton Roads, of course, the Outer Banks, and maybe you vacation there and you say, hey, turn on the TV. There's that guy you know. So anyway, it's not goodbye. It's just see you in a new place. Does that make sense? That's right. I hope it doesn't get too emotional. Yes, I wore my orange tie. My oldest is still a junior at UT. So it's one of the things, of course, always on a Friday if it's a game day, but this is bittersweet for me as well to wear the Tennessee orange this morning. All right, 16 is our feels like. We've already covered the fact that it's in the mid-20s as far as the temperature. What about the precipitation? I don't see anything. Oh, I do. Oh, I do. I don't see snow here, but I see love in the air, right? I'm getting emotional just thinking about it, but yes, I see some love in the air on the radar. Oh, that's ridiculous. You're just making me cry. Oh, my goodness. Okay, we got hazy sunshine today. Sun's going to come up at 7:24, and boys, it's sweet. Today's a sweet day. I mean, hopefully, even if you don't have a romantic significant other, that you'll just hug somebody that needs a hug. Maybe it's a friend or a neighbor or someone you go to church with. You know, any day of the year you could do that, so it's a sweet day. Think of it that way. Some people just, I dread Valentine's Day because I'm not going to get flowers. Don't think of it like that. Think of it as a chance, an opportunity to love your neighbor. Ooh, that's sweet. That is sweet. But maybe you might be so lucky to get some roses from someone that you love and you didn't expect it. here's my virtual rose to you, and maybe you'd like a piece of chocolate. As Forrest Gump used to say, you never know what you're going to get. I like this one. I don't like that one. I like this one and that one. But whether it's love, romantic love in the air, maybe you're trying to avoid Cupid's arrows because, like, I don't want to be tied down. Okay, just get through the holiday. But you can still give a hug to somebody that needs it. I know any day of the year. High wind warning is in effect starting at 1 o'clock in the morning Saturday. This comes by way of our friends at the National Weather Service. And they did modify, actually toned it down from 70 and 80 to about 60. That's not to say Cove Mountain couldn't see gusts around 70 or 80. They could. But most of the winds in the Smokies from 1 a.m. Saturday to 10 a.m. Sunday is expected to come out of the south, and that wind will be about 20 to 30, gusts to 60. That's their expectation. You can still see that on the app. We don't have winds like that now. No. We have very light winds right now in the Smokies, so it's later on that's when that's expected to take effect. Now, the new flood watch that we talked about yesterday has now expanded from what was Jamestown, Crossville. It was initially from the Weather Service in Nashville. It was Fentress and Cumberland County, but they did add Morgan County, Scott County, Campbell, also Claiborne and Hancock County, and all of southeast Kentucky for possible flooding in the rivers, creeks, and streams. It's one of those things we watch it, we'll wait for it, but it's not necessarily going to flood. It's just these are the prime areas to receive it. And that should be National Weather Service, Nashville, and Morristown. Had noted only Nashville. But temperatures currently are 26. It feels like 16. We have an 11-mile-an-hour wind, and it actually feels like it's 10 degrees colder. Okay, got some notes. You knew I'd do this. One last time to do this. Oh, my goodness. Okay, you know I'm a note taker. Had to say that. Anyway, yesterday's high was 51. It happened 10 minutes before 7 a.m. So by the time I was doing the live stream, we were hitting our high temperature of 51 degrees. Amazing. 33 occurred just 1 minute before midnight. Because as we were getting to the new night, new day, 11:59, we hit 33. Our peak gust yesterday was 26 miles an hour. I did mention the normal high now is 53, normal low 33, and the record high is 75 back when Harry S. Truman and George H.W. Bush, the elder, back in 1949, 1989, but we've been as cold as -10. Can you believe that? -10 on Valentine's Day? That doesn't sound very nice. It'd be one of those Valentine's days that you want to hug your honey and cuddle your cutie, snuggle your sweetie, because when it's -10 in 1905, Teddy Roosevelt, and McKinley, 1899, those records stay on the books. They are on the books for Knoxville. So you've got a rich, very rich historical record in Knoxville. Enjoy that. Embrace that, because not every town has records going back that far. It's a nice thing to have. They go back to 1871. When Ulysses S. Grant was president. By the way, it's 6:49. I got to keep moving because I'm going to make a few remarks at the end. If I can get through it emotionally here. We have 50 in Maryville, 49 in Morristown. These are my expected highs today. So if you get to 54 in Tellico Plains, that would not surprise me. But you may struggle if you're in La Follette just to get to 47. It's a mostly sunny day. You could call it hazy sun, because we'll have an abundance of high cirrus clouds from time to time, but you'll still want those sunglasses, as you can see here. And a happy Valentine's Day to you. 7:24 is when the sun comes up this morning, and it goes to bed now at 6:17. So those high, thin cirrus clouds are kind of depicted here. As you can see, most of those are going to be of the high variety, generally above 25,000 feet on up. So that's my expectation here on Valentine's Day. If you're headed to the school bus stop this morning, temperatures are going to be a little bit varied. Obviously, very cold this morning. Do not leave your coat behind. We'll be in the 20s as we are now. Out the door should be around 33 at 10, and then finishing the day for the school anyway from 2 to 3:30, generally in the mid to upper 40s across the board. I have us at 44 at 2. So that's my expectation for the bus stop. Now, another look at the Ultimate Doppler Radar presented by my sponsor, Marco's Pizza. Very thankful for them and all of my sponsors over these last 6 years. You can see the golden area, the Smokies, that refers to the high wind warning, and the flood watch. But you'll notice Knoxville is caught in the middle. So that means we're not going to have any likely high winds of that caliber, and we're not going to have necessarily the worst of the flooding. But we could get some isolated severe storms. And I want to show you that coming up here in just a moment. The Storm Prediction Center has continued to change and update their maps, and I want to show you that here in just a few moments. But nothing to see over the last 8 hours. Still some river flooding, though, in some of those light green boxes or polygons that you see illustrated here. Around the state, more flood concerns as we head into Saturday, but it's going to be quiet today and even tonight. Some of those showers will be slow to roll in here. That is what I expect. Still some snow across the Great Lakes, downwind, and you can see more snow across parts of Montana. Looks like we got more winter storm warnings near Denver to the Rockies, but more flood concerns. Look at all those little green, irregularly shaped polygons around Atlanta and into Mississippi. Those are the flood warnings, river flooding that has occurred or still is occurring because of the rains from earlier this week. They are still bracing for high water in some of those cases, and they're still dealing with that at this time. It is time now to check in with your comments. I'm going to slide my total lightning strikes over here, put it on over this side of the page, but I wanted to see what you are thinking or saying. I've got some other notes. Gardner Fritz says, farewell is now Captain Accurate. I'm grateful for all that you have done for our area. Thank you so much, Gardner. I appreciate your support. I know that you've been a premium member, but you've supported me, I would probably venture to guess, for about a decade and a half, and I thank you so much for your support. For those of you who watch me on local news, I do appreciate that too. Marilyn says, I just want you to know how much I've appreciated you, your app, your friendship, and all our meetings through those Tennessee Spotlights, the premium service. God bless you in your new journey. Thank you so much, Marilyn. Melissa Sills says, hello, happy Valentine's Day to all. It is a bittersweet day because, David, we will miss you, and thank you for all the years you've been here in East Tennessee. God bless you. Well, I very much appreciate those comments, and I'm going to keep checking in with them as I come back on camera. Now, some of the things I'm going to post today, I'm going to show you some never-before-seen pictures of the Captain Accurate Command Center. What? Yeah, I figure I'm on my way out, right? I'm going to Virginia now. That's not a spoiler alert now because that news came out Monday for the public. But yeah, I'm going to show you some cool pictures, and I thought that was this would be the time. So stay tuned for that later today. And if you're interested in purchasing a collector's item, it could be a Captain Accurate beach towel, a Captain Accurate coffee mug, or even a T-shirt. Time's running out. That page is going to be coming down. So if you want a last call, check out my timeline. You can still buy one. And I give 100% of my proceeds. What I take out of that is I give it to charity. I give it to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society of Knoxville. So I've been doing that since about 2019 when the platform was launched. So if you want to buy a T-shirt, you want to buy a coffee mug, you're doing it for a good cause and giving back to East Tennessee. All right, getting back to the radar, you could clearly see there's some winter in other parts, but now the Weather Prediction Center hasn't, again, they've moved the needle. They have continued to change the map. So red, yellow, and green are going to be shown in parts of Tennessee and Kentucky. The red is obviously the worst of the color categories. It's numerous for us. Thankfully, there's no purple in what I'm about to show you here. This comes by way of the Weather Prediction Center. Virtually everybody in East Tennessee is yellow. So that means we have the potential for scattered flash flooding. Where it's red is Memphis, all the way up to Lexington, Nashville. Those are the hot spots for numerous flash flooding on Saturday night. So keep in mind that what the Tri-Cities, maybe you could cut Greenville in half. So half of them are green, some of them are yellow. But just from the colored legend here, it just means that we are fair game for some flash flooding or excessive rainfall. So far, we picked up 2.51 for rain for the month. Actually, rain for the month is 3.60. But for this week, which a lot of folks were trying, how much rain are we going to get this week? We've had 2.5, 2.51 for the week, but we have now had 3.60 for the month. We're still below average. And as I mentioned last night, which I won't go into detail here, the drought monitor came out yesterday, but the rains from this week were not factored in. We'll see the reflection of that when they report next week, because they do come out every Thursday morning at 8:30. Now, this is kind of interesting because the trend has been pushing this heavier rain into Kentucky. You don't see any rain here on Valentine's Day. You can see a few drops by tomorrow morning. That doesn't look that extreme, but it doesn't even look like it really populates much in the Knoxville area by 5 o'clock Saturday. That's, like I said, where we get some showers and we get some storms. Some could be strong to isolated severe in some cases, but we really won't get the lion's share of the rain in Knoxville until Saturday night, Sunday morning, because by then we may have picked up another ½ inch to an inch. So it's really not going to be on the high end of the scale. It's going to be on the lower end of the scale because by the time this winds down, the precipitation type has changed from rain to snow flurries. By the time we hit Sunday afternoon, Sunday night, not a huge deal. It will take the configuration of the horseshoe effect. More on that in just a second. But mostly sunny, love in the air today. Showers and storms on Saturday. That's still expected, but I've kept it now closer to a 60% chance of rain tomorrow. Rain and storms continue, especially late Saturday night, and it turns windy too. Could very well be gusty, well, obviously in the Smokies, but it could be gusting anywhere from 30 or 40 in the valley come Saturday night, Sunday morning. So the winds will pick up as this system begins to depart. Colder sunshine for Washington's birthday. It is the day where the banks and post offices are closed, and so we'll find some sunshine. Many kids are off of school on that day, perhaps as well. February high temperatures. What a difference the first week was. The first 8 days were pretty toasty, but with those little white arrows, we had a upside down day on Sunday, the 9th of February, and we had another one yesterday because our high of 51 yesterday came in just before 7 a.m. But the colder air is going to come back, and yes, you're going to believe and say, oh my goodness, I didn't know that was possible. Well, surely it's possible. Look at your friends to the north. Look at Wisconsin. Look at Illinois. Look at places like Minnesota. They're very cold. They're down to like 4 and 0 and 2, like Bismarck, and 0 in Madisonville, where it feels like it's negative 14. Feels like negative 16 right now with the winds in Bismarck, so some of that cold Arctic chill will be coming back down in the coming days. And if you need more evidence, look at no further than the 5,000-foot temperatures. It looks nice and warm when we have red arrows bringing in the green. Those are the warm colors. But once we get into the colder air mass after Valentine's Day, especially from Washington's birthday on, we'll have opportunities for some colder air to wrap around, and it's going to get really cold. How cold? How about like next week? See that purple? We could be down to like 10 or 12. 10 or 12 by next Thursday. What is next Thursday? Thursday is what, the 20th. By the 20th, we could talk about snow, and it's super cold. Oh, I didn't know that was possible. Good news is, though, the Captain Accurate Weather app, it will continue to work right through Friday, the 21st. And then it's going to not slowly, it'll just disappear. But you have use of it. So if you're under a winter weather advisory, or if you're under severe weather tomorrow night, it'll still work and give you the alerts that you want. I, of course, would encourage you to join us on the WTKR News 3 First Warning Weather app. That's where my platform will be. But look at that cold air. I mean, come on. Are you kidding me? This didn't look like this yesterday. But I kept saying it's going to happen. My premium members know why it's going to happen because I like to give them what's going on and why it's going to happen. But there's been such a surge of cold air going on in Canada that eventually it would come down, and it's now showing signs of doing so. And the time frame there is February 20th. So if you're not ready for single-digit wind chills, well, boy, this is going to be a rude awakening because we probably have more winter than what we've had so far. What have we had so far? We've had 4.9 inches of snow from January, and we had 0.7 in December. So we're about 5.5, 5.6, I think, for the entire season. But we could add more to that. In fact, we might equal that from just next week. It's just one of those things that it's the way the pendulum goes. Speaking of the pendulum, love is in the air today, mostly sunny. We'll finish the day about 49 degrees. That's my expectation here on Friday. Now, clearly, it is now 6:59. I am going to go a little bit long because I have some remarks I want to make. Hallie Gibson is on here. She says there should be a picture of a star to the left of where you write your comments. She might be asking a question. Lori Henderson is there. She says, I thought you were doing, I thought you weren't doing any more East Tennessee weather. Today's my last day, Lori. Today's my last day. But I did want to give people at least a heads up on Monday, but today will be the last East Tennessee weather updates. I will still be using these pages, but I will be transitioning them to WTKR. And so the Captain Accurate name will be disappearing, and I'll go back to my real name, which is David Aldrich. I answer to anything. It's like, hey, you. I've had that on the streets, you know, hey, right back. So anyway, if you have a question, I'd love to leave you a comment. If you want to leave that and you're watching it on delay, I'll go back and do my best to answer them. But 60% chance of rain tomorrow, 100% chance on Sunday. So this is, in fact, another rainy weekend at times. The heaviest of rains may come in very late Saturday night, early Sunday morning. Now, as far as the severe weather, we don't see much today or tonight, but the tonight kind of arches into Tennessee. It's where you see that light green is where thunder is a possibility. when they issue these outlooks, keep in mind they not only focus on the day today, but it runs through about 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. So this is what they're anticipating could happen at Jamestown or, say, Cookeville, Wartburg, or even Clinton through 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. It's a possible thunderstorm. But where things get rock and rolling is when it's down to the south. There will be about a 10% chance that tornadoes break out within 25 miles of a point in orange. So that includes Memphis. That includes Monroe, Louisiana, Jackson, Mississippi. If you have family in these areas, they're going to get quite a few alerts. I hope that they have some way to get that information on their phone. But there'll be scattered severe storms in Huntsville, scattered severe storms in Montgomery, Alabama, as well as New Orleans and Baton Rouge. Come back home, it's really in Nashville. The severe weather will be populating, as in Chattanooga. But for Knoxville, for Wartburg, LaFollette, Gatlinburg, there's the opportunity for some isolated severe storms with damaging wind, the biggest issue. I'm not expecting hail. I'm not expecting tornadoes, but there could be some very strong winds associated with some of the storms that come in tomorrow and tomorrow night. Does that help? I hope it helps, so that way you have a chance to prepare. Meanwhile, severe risk on Sunday moves toward the beaches. It'll be in Florida, it'll be in Georgia, the Carolinas, from Jacksonville, Tallahassee, all the way up into the Outer Banks, which will be my new viewing area over time. I'll be heading over there on my first day on the job. Will be February 24th. That's a Monday, so I'll be there, but that's where the severe weather on Sunday will persist. Nothing going on here. We will get some early rain, but it'll change to some snowflakes, as we can see illustrated on this map. So keep in mind, it's a bright sun-filled day today with a few extra cirrus clouds thrown in for good measure. Love is in the air through 5 o'clock, and then tonight with the warm front, more clouds begin to gather. By 2 a.m., we start to see some rain begin to develop. Looks like this. And the heaviest will be up toward Kentucky as it begins to arch over and move into the Commonwealth. Once we move into Saturday night, the winds are picking up, and boy, there it is. Wow, what time is that? 4:30 in the morning. That's pretty strong. That's amazing, right? Comes through very aggressive, and then it changes over to a few flakes of the horseshoe variety. Not the cornhole variety. I don't know what a cornhole would be weird, but a horseshoe. If you play horseshoes, it looks like the horseshoe because you got snowflakes in the Smokies. You got maybe nuisance flakes in the Plateau and southeast Kentucky, and that's about it. And it's really a nothing burger for Knoxville because it moves around us. It's kind of like, why did you mention it then? Because it's happening around us. I thought it would be helpful to know. But we will get some flurries maybe in some parts of East Tennessee come Sunday afternoon or evening. Like I'm thinking in the time frame of like 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. Certainly a possibility on Sunday. Monday looks dry, obviously clear, mostly clear on Washington's birthday. So for today, as I wrap things up here at 7:03, 49 degrees, mostly sunny, love in the air, winds 5 to 10 plus out of the northeast. If you're in Wartburg, 47. If you're in Oak Ridge or Clinton, 48. And if you're in Morristown, 49 degrees and 47 in LaFollette. If you're traveling today, double nickels in Atlanta, 40 for Lexington, 46 for Greensboro, Charlotte 51, Memphis to the west at 52 degrees. Tonight we're dropping to 38. That's not as cold as now. Not as cold as now because we're in the 20s now, but 38, the low temperature tonight, more clouds with rain showers developing. Winds are pretty light, should drop to 40 for Newport, 36 for Oneida, Scott County, and 36 for Crossville, Fairfield, Glade, and Lake Tansy first thing tomorrow morning. So here's your Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast for Knoxville at East Tennessee, 63 on Saturday. I have not wavered there, but the chance of rain may be closer to 60% for East Tennessee as most of it rides into Kentucky. 59 comes early. I'm thinking like 1 or 2 in the morning on Sunday as we go from upper 50s, settle in by sunrise in the low 50s, and finish the day generally in the 40s and 30s. We're down to 25 come Monday morning. That's President's Day. But I would keep an eye on it Wednesday night into Thursday. Could get some accumulating snow. In fact, I expect it. I'm expecting accumulating snow Wednesday night into Thursday. Won't be able to update you on that because this is the last live stream, and I know there's going to be a temptation. People are like, hey, I know you're working at that station, but could you give me what you think over? I can't do that. I can't. As much as I'd like to, I can't be in 2 places. I can't serve 2 masters, right? I am going to be there, and I'm going to do my best. I'm going to put 100%, 110% effort in the new job. But the snow that I'm telling you now, I think is going to occur as we head into Wednesday night, Thursday of next week. And some of you will be delightfully surprised if you're on Team Snow. Hey, honey, winter's back. Who would have thunk it? I've been talking about that since it was record high territory in the first week of February, and my premium members have known it for quite some time too. So they've been anticipating this to come to pass. So anyway, again, wanted to make my notes here. Again, want to wish my wife, beautiful wife Stephanie, a happy Valentine's Day. For many of you, it's interesting because somebody told me in the business a long time ago that the weather person, the weather guy, weather gal at a station is the most trusted person in the newsroom. And I said, well, how is that possible? They said, well, because when you have to forecast, what do I need to wear and how do I dress the kids, right? You do that day after day. You do that week after week, year after year. You build up trust. And that trust is something that it creates a bond. And so that's why I think it's so emotional for me, because I do this every day. I always caution when you see things online where somebody forecasts a big snow 12 days in advance, if they're not doing a daily forecast, you really ought to step back and say, do I really want to take stock in that person? Because unless they're doing a daily forecast, I mean, it's like repetitions in the gym. If you're doing it every day, forecasting every day, and doing it accurately, well, then you should put more trust or credence into what they're saying. That being said, I'm very thankful for this opportunity. You have no idea what this has meant for me and my family, the joy that you've brought me. It has not been easy being accurate. It really hasn't, but it's been worth every moment for me. And so I'm very, very thankful and grateful for you. I am going to have more updates throughout the day today, so I hope you'll stay with me. But keep in mind, if you're just getting the notification, I am headed to Norfolk, Virginia, to a TV station, the CBS station in Norfolk and the Hampton Roads area, and Northeast North Carolina, the Outer Banks. I start on February 24th. So I got to get ready to pack up and move, and so it's a lot going on in my life. But your prayers are appreciated, and your support, ongoing support, is not lost on me. So thank you for your kind words. The other thing I wanted to say, all things said, and I'm going to probably forget what I wanted to say, but the reason I always say that every day is a gift, this has been a gift for me. And when I was a kid, I started losing grandparents. Many of you know this experience, right? You lose your grandparents, and I realized what I had or what I didn't have until it was gone. When I lost my grandparents on my dad's side, then I lost on my mother's side, I realized my grandfather took me fishing. So all these fun things that I had with that experience made me realize that every day is a gift. That's where it comes from. And whether it's tornadic, in fact, I got a picture of that. Let me show you if I have that picture. We did some fundraising for the American Red Cross last summer with the premium members. We were able to donate some money because that movie Twisters came out. Remember the movie Twisters? We had an EF2 tornado come into Knox County. Yes, it was an EF2, 130-mile-an-hour winds, and we had some tornadoes like last week tast in some parts. Obviously, we had some fatalities. So whenever you have bad weather, and we can have bad weather in East Tennessee, this was in Level Crossing last year or so, was 2023, it tears off roofs. But even when you have bad weather, ice storms, when you have hurricanes, when you have flooding, it's still a gift. And I just wanted to thank you for putting your trust in me, and I appreciate you and your support. It means the world to me. But like I said, later today, I'm going to have some great exclusive pictures of the command center, what it's been like to put it together. And if you have any questions for me, I'm going to come back to on camera here. I'm going to go back to see your comments. Let me see if there's some comments here. Let me see if I can take this full screen. Let's see. Yep, that was the picture there. But I want to end on a happier note, put the forecast up behind me so that for those who are just joining us, obviously this is going long today, but there won't be one tomorrow or next week. So keep that in mind. Love is in the air today. That's probably a good place to pause it there. I got a note from Felicia. She is on here. She says, have a great Valentine's Day. Good luck on your next adventures. We will miss you in Tennessee. Absolutely. Thank you, Felicia. And Priscilla. Priscilla McCracken is on here. She said, you will always be Captain Accurate. That name, I believe, will stay here. Born here and will stay here, Priscilla. But thank you for that. You have helped us and kept us updated. We'll miss you very much. All the best to you and your beautiful family. Well, thank you very much for your support. Let's see here. Alicia Davis was asking about how to send stars. Yeah, I think Hallie was giving instructions on how to do that. It was very thoughtful of her. Linda Rice says, happy Valentine's Day to you and your family. Sure going to miss you. I appreciate that as well. And then I'm looking at, we mentioned Melissa. Oh, Yolanda did not get to her comment. She says, what a bittersweet day. Bitter we will miss you, but sweet because you are getting a very well-earned and deserved blessing. May God bless you and your family. Yolanda, thank you so much. Yolanda is in the Crossville area, and she and her husband met me on the Crossville Spotlight, the Tennessee Spotlight years ago. and that still lives on in my memory. So thank you, Yolanda, for all of your support over these years. I got another note from Davine Whitney saying thank you, thumbs up from her. And then Dawn Coleman, I know she's on Team Snow. She says, happy Valentine's Day. You will be missed. Go Team Snow. And Ed is on here. Ed has also been a big supporter. Good morning. Wishing you all the best for your family on your new adventures. Good luck to you. Very much appreciate you all for that. And Felicia had an earlier note saying, well, sad day, but thank you for everything over the past 6 years online and many more in Knoxville. Best wishes in Virginia. Well, I'm going to kind of end on where I started, which was many of you like to go to the beach. And I use that analogy quite a bit. Low tide, high tide. I do that quite a bit. Now I'm going to be covering Virginia Beach and the Carolinas and the Outer Banks. So certainly that will apply again even there. But like I said, I don't want this to be goodbye. Just see you someplace new. So if you're going to plan on a summer vacation and you normally go to Myrtle Beach or you normally go to Destin, consider coming to Virginia Beach. Come to Hampton Roads, and I'd love to say hi to you, even if it is just on the television set itself. Well, my name is David Aldrich. It's been bittersweet. We'll see you here, and we'll see you on the next level, the next stage of this in the process. Happy Valentine's Day.